Okay, it's recording, so let's begin.
All right, let me share my screen then. Hi, thank you everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you for your time to join us. So this is a second webinar from Informatica. So today we mentioned about the financial literacy for the potential applicants in the future. So let's begin with. So we following this agenda today. So first of all, for introduction briefly, and to mention about the financial literacy. Also, we have a Q&A session. Overall, we plan to have meeting around 45 minutes. So last 20 minutes, we want to devote it for the Q&A sessions. So we're waiting for your questions later. But anytime you can ask me for any questions. Okay, let's start from. Okay, so here, this is Informatica. We offering the microfinance to small business owner in Malaysia right now. There are companies' missions to enable the individuals, also the small business owner, who have dreams and to efficiently to access the finance and to fulfill their dreams and to creating their great business. And so let me introduce myself briefly. I graduated University 2003, and during my students, I joined some NGO activities, volunteer activities for street children in Vietnam. So that is the first time I go abroad, especially for emerging country, then to see some social issues in the society. And also I found that everybody needs some job and to survive. And for creating the business, need to access finance and need to access community to get ideas and also the peer support. That's my learning from this volunteer activities. So after graduation, I joined Bank of Japan, Central Bank, also Rakuten Group of trading company. Then I learned how to plan for financial business and also how to sell the financial goods by online and how to communicate with the customers. Then those are my basic experience in the financial sector. So after that, I get some master degree in UK. Then I migrated to Bangladesh and to want to learn more about the microfinance. And I think microfinance is a new destination for me in my life. Then it's including social impact also, as well as economic impact. So I started to work at the BRAC. BRAC is a BRAC is as famous as same as Grameen Bank in Bangladesh. So that I learned the microfinance philosophy, such as the group lending or peer pressure or value chain of the ladies, and it's quite impressive for me. And after that, I found a co-founder, and then we established the company in Malaysia at Informatica to 2019. And one year later, we also established a company in Japan as well. So basically, in Malaysia, we provide in microfinance, and in Japan, we offering the credit scoring model to financial companies. Okay, so Informatica addressing the challenge to especially financial access. So we know a lot of individuals, especially early stage of entrepreneur, business owner, facing some troubles. It's not easy to access the traditional bank's loan because of basically the beginners. I mean, the people don't have a good credit score or they don't have an experience to get the loan from the banks. So they don't have score. So that's the main reason, and couldn't access the bank's loan. So we basically targeting the small business owners in here in Malaysia, then try to offering alternative credit score to solving this challenge. Okay, so that's the brief introduction of the how we start the Informatica. Oh, basically, also, let me introduce a little bit more about so we invented for psychometric test for the alternative credit score. Usually the traditional lending company or banks is they very, really rely on CTOS. And, the CTOS is most basic credit score in Malaysia. But we found that the half of the small business owner doesn't have any CTOS or doesn't have a good score in CTOS. So we invented for the alternative one. Then we use the psychometric test is kind of psychological statistical questionnaire and to asking their willingness to repay back loan. Then we get this new type of score then we using this score to whether we can disperse loan or not. So I think that people more easily to get the better score. Not only this, but also we also analyze of the cash flow, also the social media practicing. So we combining 3-4 different type of activities to creating our integrated score to finally judge whether we disperse or not. So that's the brief introduction of Informatica. So let's move on to the next topic. It's today's we are addressing for the financial literacy. So when you start the business, what is the most important factors for you? Then, yeah, of course, you need some business experience to launching your unique business. Also, maybe you need some initial capital to stand up your business. Also, some resources, such as maybe the human resources of the staff, care colleague, and maybe some knowledge to how to start your business. But we think, so especially for business owners, it's very, very important thing also is for the financial literacy, because for business, as I said before, so you need the initial capital. So if you have some asset, you need to manage, you need to invest to change to something the stuffs and or ingredients or machines or hiring human resources. You need the finance. But if you don't have enough financial literacy, it might be easily to fall something trouble or something expired of all the financial resources easily. So let's say we believe if you have enough financial literacy to creating the trust, credibility of yourself, it's make it easy to achieve this business success, we believe. So today, overall the financial literacy, the range from varieties and different type of things, and maybe important thing is cash flow management, and also the tax issues, also the business plan issues, all creating the connected for the business success. So later on, today the main topic is bookkeeping. So later on, we explain in more detail for the bookkeeping. But before that, a little bit mentioned about the what's the money lenders and the banks. What's our roles basically? What's the differentiation from the banks is? So basically, the bank following the license, the authority under central bank, BNM, as you know. But our money lenders license under KPKT is Housing and Local Government Ministry of Malaysia. And also for credit score, basically the banks following the CTOS and the secrets. But moneylender also, some majority of them to following the same as credit score, but also some moneylenders utilize a unique credit score like us. And compare with the banks, moneylenders process is more simple and less document, generally speaking. So that's why we offering the service for more wide range of the people, including sometimes for poor or sometimes for small business owners. So because of our process is more easy rather than banks. So honestly speaking, our role is different. So usually the moneylenders is for the people who cannot access the bank's loan because of banks require some at least 2 to 3 years of business experience to have some certain audit report, financial report, and to be a profitable. And yeah, it's really fulfilling all the requirement. It takes time and energy, so it's not easy. So that's why we are here as a money lenders and to be offering the more easy access for the money for the people. But we have different roles, and so we recognize ourselves is fulfilling the gap between the banks and peoples. Right. So here already mentioned the gap. Yeah. But we know that the people, especially the early stage of entrepreneur, they need the finance because we very clearly to know there are some time gap between when they need the money as an initial stage, but the income coming later. So this is that depends on the business. There are some time gap between these two timing. And usually expenditure or investment is first, then income coming later. So we are here as a financial institution. Our role is to fulfilling this time gap to offering some enough finance to the entrepreneur to make them success to establish of their business or develop their business. But our roles should avoid the bankruptcy of the business. Also, we should avoid any default from the borrowers. So that's why we need assessment process to select the right borrowers who are eligible to apply loan. So those are the things as we need to scheme to select the people, but we want to help and to the early stage of entrepreneur to access the loan. Okay, so let's move on to today's main topic is bookkeeping. As we addressing for financial literacy, I think the most important thing is you should know your basic income and expenditure as a business owner. But as saying is easy, but to actual recognition is so difficult because need some time to keep in diary. Diary means the accounting diary. It's called bookkeeping. So we can show today for the how to do this bookkeeping basically. So yeah, maybe we can show you the Excel better than this, and let me check. Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, good. So here, so yeah, this is a sample of the bookkeeping. Basically, this is record. Just simply, very, very long. I mean, every day we expect every day you need the record for expenditure or income. So first of all, here maybe this is some I don't know, the date is something different. Like is it the date looks like the 1st of May, and then this is starting from the expenditure. So the 1st May, so this expenditure for drinks or vegetables or meat, it looks like, yeah, company or families. But anyway, so I recommend all the expenditure, all the transaction of the month flow money, and you should keep diary. So here, usually the double entry style, the bookkeeping is kind of one of the first step of the accounting. If you are not accounting students, but if you are in the course in accounting, I believe you have this kind of lecture of the bookkeeping. So usually the bookkeeping is system following for the double entry. The double entry means for one is expenditure, is as a credit, and this is for debit, for means for savings or income. So usually left side is expenditure. So this is the same scheme for PL sheet. PL, the profit and loss table. And so in the end of the year, as a company, you need to create a financial report. So there are three table. One is PL, another one is BS, another one is cash flow management sheet. So this is one of the PL sheet. So we following this left row is for credit, for expenditure, and the right row to meaning for the income. So I think the 1st of May, 3 transactions expenditure, and then 2 transactions recognized for income. So to come the right row. So maybe second day is 3 transactions recognized as expenditure again, and another 4 transactions created for income. So it's like this diary. So every day you need to record the diary. This is money diary. So every day you keep in diary for whatever you have, and so you just registered in just following your timing. So you don't need to think about it carefully. I mean, just for registered, to creating the keep diary. So the end of the month, this is monthly things. And so just keep the total as expenditure of left row, and then income is right row. And the end of the month, it is important to do the category. So this is this. So the sample for the left row is expenditure. Sorry, this is maybe, I think the debit is inward. It's just become income right now, but it's okay for income. So this sample sheet for left comes income right now for summarizing up. So income, and then so we should have a category. So in this case, income category have 4 different categories. So this here, cash, credit, online sales, and so that where this sales come from, income come from. So this company have 4 categories. So it depends. For example, from our case, so our income is kind of interest income, also admission fee income, or other third one is consultancy fee for R&B Informatica income. So in this case, A, B, C. So it depends on company. So what kind of income it generate usually. So you can categorize for 3, 4, 5, and depends on your company. So this company have 4 different category. So the end of the month, so you need to summarize up, depends on the category. So in this case, A category A to summary for 18,830 ringgit, and B category is 21,030 ringgit, and same as for C and D as well. No D here. Yeah, this time we don't have a D category. And same for expenditure is, so this company have expenditure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 categories. So very, very depends on the company. But usually the expenditure have some general categories for here, purchase from suppliers, or employee wage, rent, utility fee. So this is very, very basic as a company. So we have 10 category in this case. So the end of the month, so this case, the category E have totally 5,500, and same as for other categories. And you need to summarize up the end of the month. So then put here, it's like category chart, category table. Then you can find out for each category, how much is the total, is the income and expenditure. So the important thing is you need to keep this bookkeeping for at least 3 months or 6 months. Then finally, I believe after 6 months, you can have this budget and actual comparison table for 6 months record. That's the source of your knowledge. And so you can get the average income or average cost for each category. Then you can easily to expect your budget. So for your company, how much is each category's budget for expenditure or income as well? Then easily you can estimate for your buffer. So, or you can control, if only have this income, then you should reduce the expenditure. So because of this chart or the table, it's quite helpful to you to understand what is your average cost and what is your average income. Then finally you make a strategy, and then to how adjustment of the expenditure usually because income is not controlled. So, or if you think the income is not enough, then you need to think about it, how to increment your income. Then you start side business, or you should do the marketing to reach the more customers, or you need to create in the strategy. Depends on this analysis. So let's go back to our pitch point. Okay. So, okay. So another point of the financial literacy. So usually you need to really, really need to control the expenses. Generally speaking, all over globally, usually not expenses, sorry, for the borrowing money, the amount of borrowing is usually up to 1/3 of your income, annual income. So in Japan, so in the government side, if you get the money lending license, the lending company should keep by ourselves, and we can lend the money to up to the 1/3 of the borrower's income. That's the rules, because there are so many disasters happening before in historical record. So that's why the government asks the money lenders we are the company who need to control the amounts, then to save the borrowers to get into the trouble. So that's the things. So it's same as for we can request for the borrowers in voluntary. So this is kind of the Melkumar for the very good, how can I say, measurement of, it's easily roughly to think about the almost 30% of your income is can be a borrowing money, but still high, but you can control, depends on your buffer. So this is just roughly saying for what the important thing is, you need income, you need to know the expenditure, and you need to know this general manner, the code of the global code for the borrowing money. And this is really helpful to you to think about how much amount you can borrow in one shot. And then third pillar is when you borrow money, you need to really need to prepare some reserve. Reserve means for something buffer, asset buffer. So there is some type of buffer. The first, the savings as a cash savings is most important because so most flexible feature. So whenever you need, the cash is cash is a god in Japan saying, because only the cash can save you promptly. So the cash savings is the first priority. But the second one is premises, maybe for any type of premises for the big asset, such as land or house or office or any cars. This kind of the big premises can save you. And when you're in trouble, in emergency, you can sell this big property, then creating some buffer. Also, finally, the network is also the human asset because of they give us the ideas, they give us the solutions. Also, sometimes they give you for some financial money, and so it's quite help you to in an emergency time. So we always recommend when we lend the money, we always check in this point for all the borrowers to prepare in this reserve. Okay, thank you so much. I spent almost 40 minutes and then and let's move on to the Q&A sessions. Chris,
So,
can you handle?
sure. Thank you very much, Ms. Fumiko, for your wonderful presentation. So, guys, now it's open for Q&A session. Please feel free to ask any questions you guys wish. Ms. Fumiko will be more than happy to help you. And if you have any other doubts, I also be here to assist you. Go ahead, guys.
Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, good
Can you
afternoon.
hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So actually, this question is related to the bookkeeping part. That part is
Right.
really helpful to me. But basically, most of startup companies like will use their own bank account as a business account also. So the question is, what is your opinion regarding on personal expenses? Since we use the same account for personal and also business purposes, do we have to put personal expenses in the bookkeeping? And do you think is it necessary for us to create our own business bank account?
Yeah, I totally agree with, especially I keep the diary for this money diary for when I started my job in 20s after graduation of university, means at that time our income is really limited. And then also we have some, how can I say, appetite to consume our money or salary. So usually expenditure is easily to overwhelmed of the income. So that's why sometimes we, how can I say, the lack of cash flow, then sometimes really danger of too much credit in the credit card. So anyway, so I really recommend it for the young generation when you start the job and have some, this is a new endeavor. So just until to some certain period, and the bookkeeping, it's a good training and to knows the timing. Only the salary is so simple because once in a month, so you easily understand the salary itself, I mean income side. But as for expenditure, it's it's quite difficult, usually very challenging for the young generation. So just keeping diary every day. Then what kind of expenditure you have depends on the category, because even you don't know what kind of category you have, but after 1 month, you need to figure out what kind of category. Usually, I don't know, the food or transportation cost, or something like entertainment cost or mobile cost, or for I talking about personal usage. And for you need to grasp the average and standard size of your expenditure per month. And it's this bookkeeping activities will help you to understand after 3 months or after 6 months, you easily to figure out what is your standard expenditure in your set. So I highly recommend it for personal life also, especially for until you grasp your ideas of your lifestyle, and it would be great to have a bookkeeping.
Okay, thank you so much.
Right.
Okay, thank you very much, Noreen. Anyone else? We still have time for questions. Miss Alia, do you have any question from your side?
Actually, it's because I missed the first webinar, so I'm not sure whether the second webinar is a continuation from the first one or it's a.
Some parts overlap each other, but some parts are new for today. So you don't worry about. So you just asking for any questions related to today's topic, and don't worry.
Can you based on the bookkeeping style, you shown us the template. So do you recommend for the startups, like for people who just join or open up their own company startups, do you have a recommendation, certain software or apps you could use?
I know, yeah. If you have enough buffer, I highly recommend it to use a software, accounting software. But usually, I recognize the software is expensive because of SaaS model or anything like asset model, whatever. So I just for the first entrepreneur, I mean the first year or early stage, just using Excel, because the purpose is just recognize your average standard expenditure level in each category. So I believe Excel is enough for first stage. But if you have any buffer, how can I say, buffer of the cash flow, of course, I recommend it to install the software, accounting software. Even our company also, I mean, this year we installed the accounting software. We are already 3 years past. So until now, we just use Excel to keep their expenditure because it's very, very expensive, I believe. So before installment system, I think you can manage somehow by Excel, I believe. But depends on the business nature, such as like manufacturing or engineering, or some business industry has more complicated things and more required accuracy for the expenditure. It might be better to use a accounting software, because it's affected to your profit very, very. So you need accurate calculations. But as other business, I don't know, the wholesales or just tradings, and it's quite, the category is not so complicated. It's only 10 or 15 or 20. I believe we can handling by Excel somehow. I think it would be great to discuss with the accountant or corporate secretary. Maybe they will give us some advice for which one we should use for software accounting, accounting software, or but whether we can handling by Excel or not. And Aria, have you ever used any software or any Excel or any to do the bookkeeping before?
Previously, I think the company used to use another type of software, I think. But currently, I'm in the middle of trial run, a test run for a new software. I believe it integrates the whole system. But for startups, I think it's a good one. But I think it depends on the company as well. If it's a enterprise or Sdn Berhad, it's because if you have Sdn Berhad, you have to have a company secretary. So we need to set up the module, how the template and everything. And so I think that I will give the new software a trial run. Let's see how good it is, and I'll let you know the results.
Yeah, that'd be great. We can also share with you what we use in our company.
I had actually, it was offered to me a couple of times, but at the time I decided to, because for some people, startups is like a new thing, and so there's a lot of things, and I think financial part usually are not really covered by most. It's not really well known. You need to a specific training for the financial part, and so there's a lot of technical stuff involved in it, and you need a lot of knowledge and resources as well. So
Right.
I think it's a good idea to give a trial run on the software first.
Yeah, I agree. Is there any other questions so far?
Feel free to ask, guys. I think we are open for one more question. We can go ahead.
So hi.
Oh yes,
I
hi.
have one
Firdaus,
question.
go ahead.
So I want to ask. So regarding the engineer, how do they want to apply? So basically, engineer usually they apply their supply using the purchase order. So they need to get the fund before they proceed with their cases. So in these cases, how do they get the fund as the bank statement does not show the income yet for the engineer who want to apply the loan?
It very, very depends on the money lenders. I believe if it is just a newborn company, it's quite hard to acquire the loan from the banks, because generally, I think Anson is more knows these issues, but generally banks don't give the loan for first initial stage, at least 2 to 3 years business experience with the audit report. So but you can try for money lender, but some money lender also have some other requirement. Like us, being Informatica, we don't give the loan for just initiate the company recently. So at least we require some minimum 6 months business experience, and so that's why we require some 6 months bank statement we check the generate income. At least it's not necessary for every month, but at least we want to confirm for regularity how they have generate income, how much and how frequently and from whom. This kind of income source we want to confirm from the bank statement, because we know business is uncertain and we don't know next month, after 3 months, what's this company happen or survive or not. And that's why so difficult to survive in this business environment, I know. So that's why at least we need to confirm for the generate income source. So in your case, for engineer, just initiate your business. It's, for my experience, it's quite challenging to get the loan from any banks or any money lenders. So in this case, I recommended for this stage, very, very early stage of not only, but basically you should rely on your peer colleague, means families or friends. So they are the initial, someone comes, very, how can I say, the first angel investor we call, generally speaking, for close to you, to know you very well and trust you and you support you for your new endeavor. So those are the person who you should rely on at the first stage. But you have a limitation because family have a limited amount of money. So after a few months, if you want to explore your business, you should apply the money lender. Maybe after 6 months, then some money lender will help you to lending loan.
Okay, hope that is clear for you, Fidaus.
Yes, thank you for your explanation.
Thank you for asking.
Great. Looks like we have another participant here, Naveen. Hi, sorry you joined late. This our webinar is about financial literacy. Sorry you missed it. But you can drop us an email later. We can send you the webinar contents. But if there's any question for business, you can go ahead and ask. Can you hear us?
Hello.
Hi, hello.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah,
Uh,
we are doing good.
So I just came to see lah. I really don't have any question to ask. Just want to get some knowledge on this lah.
Sure.
Okay, sure.
So after this, so we will usually release in this recorded webinar. So hopefully you can access the link. Then anytime you can ask any questions about the loans, any financial literacy things via chat or email, or we have inquiry form in our website as well.
Okay, noted.
Great. Thank you very much, Mr. Naveen. So I think the questions, if you guys have nothing else, then maybe thank you very much, guys, for this session. Thank you very much, Ms. Fumiko. If there's anything you'd like to add up before we end our webinar for today.
Sure. Oh, shall we take any pictures? What?
Yeah. So everyone, if you can just guys open your camera for a moment, then we can just grab a picture. Just a moment, guys. Thank you very much for your time. So let's just grab a picture. Right, great. So smile for the camera.
Okay, lighting not good.
Sorry, Mr. Navi. Next time we'll make sure that we'll have a good lighting. Don't worry.
No. Here, sir. Here, my house here.
Oh, I see. Great. So, guys, thank you very much again. So we'll be having our next webinar very soon. Next time, please share with your friends if you feel like this webinar is really useful and helpful for you. Miss Alia, Miss Nurin, Miss Kanna, Mr. Fidaus, Mr. Anson, and Mr. Naveen. Thank you very much for your time. Please share with your friends and keep in touch. We will send this content to you for your further, usage in the future.
All right.
Great.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, guys. You have a good day. Feel free to just drop us an email soon, yeah?
Yeah. Miss Alia also, thank you for joining us. And I'm waiting for any questions or applications, whatever. Let's chit chat soon.
Yes. Let's keep in touch.
Right. Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye.